The Pacific Alliance is an initiative of regional integration comprised by Chile, Colombia, Mexico, and Peru, officially established on April 28, 2011. Its objectives are: first, to both-zone participation and consensus in an area of deep integration that will move progressively forward towards the free circulation of goods, service, capital, and persons. Second, to dynamize growth, development, and competitiveness in the economy of parties in order to achieve great welfare, overcome socioeconomic disparities, and secure social inclusion in their societies. Third, to become a platform for political articulation, economic and commercial integration. Next, we can see the members of Pacific Alliance. The Pacific Alliance is open to free trade. Members keep a network of trade agreements among them and with the most developed and dynamic economy in the world. It promotes commercial, investment, innovation, and technology exchange with the most competitive regions around the world. It has the potential to attract new investment in the region. The Pacific Alliance has competitive advantage in many: forest resources, energy, agriculture, automotive, finish, and manufacturing. The benefits are free movement of people, preservation and respect for the environment, academic and cultural exchange, cultural promotion, stock markets integration, opening of young commercial office and young participation in fair and exhibition, small and medium-sized enterprise innovation and competitiveness improvement, and the last, tourism.
Programs and projects. The Pacific Alliance promotes projects in areas like environment, sustainability, sport, mobility and education, among others.
Sport Diplomacy Program. The Pacific Alliance develops a sport diplomacy project aimed to boost the regional integration through the exchange and sporting events of young people between 14 and 17 years from the 4 countries who are in a situation of vulnerability.
Youth Volunteerism Project of the Pacific Alliance. As part of this project, each country received 12 young people between 18 and 30 years of age to integrate them into programs or projects of volunteerism, our environment, school reinforcement and sport, equality, community development and preservation of cultural and natural heritage, human development, gender perspective, citizenship participation, peace culture and social inclusion.
Integration for the sustainable production and consumption. It aims to promote the sustainable production and consumption in the countries of the Pacific Alliance. Its working areas are environment, business development, clean production, sustainable consumption. One of its targets is to achieve sustainable procurement and a national sustainable production and consumption program.
Scientific Cooperation for Climate Change in the Pacific Alliance, Biodiversity Monitoring. The Scientific Research Network of Climate Change features a scientific committee, integrated by 4 representative per country, in charge of ensuring the concurrence of the promoted investigation in this framework with the policies of the member countries within the subject.
A student and academic mobility platform promotes the mobility of undergraduate and PhD students, teachers, and researchers from the 4 member countries.
Work and Vacation Program. The program aims to young nationals of the states of Pacific Alliance temporarily enter the territory of any of the other states for a vacation with recreational and cultural purpose, with the possibility to engage on gainful activity in order to partially cover the cost of accommodation and food.
These 4 countries have a combined population of 216 million and together account for half of Latin America's exports and around 39% of region's GDP. The greatest distinction is that the Pacific Alliance is not only the most outward-looking bloc in the region, but it also goes far beyond trade as well. Internal trade accounts for a very small portion of the bloc's overall trade, and with eyes on Asia, the Pacific Alliance seeks to function externally as a unified commercial entity instead of a mere agglomeration of countries. An example is the integration of the four-member state stock market into MILA, the integrated Latin American market, which is now the region's largest bourse in terms of capitalization. Politically, we are talking about four of the most pragmatic, center-oriented countries in Latin America. So far, the group has managed to avoid the intra-organizational political issues which have sometimes hindered potential in Mercosur. As we've said, this is an extremely well-planned alliance which aims to provide equal benefits for all four countries. In Mexico, we can see the next benefits. First, we have the immediate elimination of 92% of the harmonized system code and the 8 remaining to a maximum term of 15 years. It also gives a great legal clarity to the entrepreneurs who wish to invest in one of the countries of the Pacific Alliance. Employment will also increase, and in the case of Mexico, will positively impact the manufacturing sector, which could be in 2 or 3% extra to what is planned, but with high added value, which will mean very good salaries. Though member states have emphasized the free movement of people, goods and ideas in addition to capital, the bloc is approaching expansion with great care. It is mindful of the risks in expanding too zealously in a region facing migration issues and trafficking of illegal goods. The focus will likely remain more on the commercial and regulatory harmonization than on socio-political integration for the time being. The Pacific Alliance works through the coordination between ministries and agencies of the four member countries and not with a permanent secretary. On the first level, we have the summits, composed by the presidents of each country. Periodically, the four leaders gather to review the Pacific Alliance progress and to determine where the integration mechanisms needs to move forward. Annually, the Pacific Alliance rotates the mechanism coordination between its members because it doesn't have a permanent secretary, so they use a pro-tempore presidency. Then we have the Council of Ministers. It is composed of the Ministers of Foreign Trade and Foreign Affairs. Among its powers is the ability to make decisions in order specific actions, provide for the framework agreement and in the presidential statements. Countries that are not members can participate as observers in accordance with the provisions established by the Council of Ministers. If an observer country has free trade agreements with at least half of the member countries, they may request to be a candidate to become a member of the Pacific Alliance. And finally, there is the high-level group. It is composed of the Vice Ministers of Foreign Trade and Foreign Affairs and is responsible of overseeing the progress of technical group and prepare the proposal for future partnerships with other organisms or groups.
The Pacific Alliance has the potential to become Latin America's largest economic and trade bloc. Collectively, the Pacific Alliance countries are the 8th largest economy in the world, comprise 38% of the GDP in Latin America, 50% of the total trade, and 45% of all the FDI to the region. As the trade bloc gains momentum, investors from around the world can look forward to opportunities to grow exponentially. The trade agreements that serve as the framework for the Pacific Alliance ensure the full liberation of trade in goods and services, aligned with members' economic policies. The private sector plays a major role in the integration process, in an effort to promote the agreement among business people. From the member countries and abroad, the Pacific Alliance Business Council was created. The main achievements of Pacific Alliance member countries over the course of 3 years are tied to the liberation of 95% on average for all the trade in goods. Colombia with 95%, Chile 98%, Peru 94%, and Mexico 96%. Peru eliminated the business visa requirement for Colombian business people for allowed stays up to 183 days. Mexico eliminated the tourist visa for Colombia and Peru. The Pacific Alliance progresses are tariff reduction, simplification of customs procedures, unification of stock exchanges, elimination of visa, creation of business council, among others, are aimed at the integration of productive sector through the fear of change
to enter global value exchange competitiveness.